Hi, I'm Gwen. I'm a first-year student at Williams College, and today we're talking about one of the most important points you have to consider before you move somewhere. Location, location, location. So first of all, the general location is that we're in New England. New England is the northeast portion of the United States, everything north of New York. It's natural beauty, but also lots of old architecture that's really, really beautiful. Lots of old towns, very quaint and nice. In a normal year, there would be some ability to travel around New England. There would be buses to New York and Boston. We're not allowed to do that this year because of COVID, but that is a thing. And that was important to me when I was choosing to come here again, because I'm not from New England and I really hadn't been here before. Yeah, I really love being in New England. I love the history, and I love that it's something new. I love that there's access to cities. I think it's really great. In terms of the campus itself, I think it's a great size. When I was looking at colleges, I was looking mostly at small schools, but I was worried about a school having too small of a campus, because some campuses are really just like a couple of blocks, and I was like, if I'm gonna live there for 4 years, I don't want to just be walking on 2 blocks. Like, I want to be engaging with a larger space. I feel like I get so bored. That was a weird concern to have. I'm not sure how if I really think about those things now. But I think it's a really, really great size. It feels like there are so many buildings, like residential buildings and academic buildings and all sorts of buildings that you can go into to study. So there are so many nooks and crannies that you can find. You can always find a new spot to study. Yeah, there are 2 libraries, and like if you go there on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon, they're gonna feel pretty. It feels like the whole campus is there, but you can always still find a space. Like, you do walk a lot because it's college, and walking is by far the main method of transportation here. But I like that, and you never have to walk very far. I would say from my building, which is basically the northernmost part of campus, to like the beginning of Spring Street is less than 10 minutes. To the end of Spring Street and like the Weston Field complex, all the way down there is maybe 15 minutes, or less because I'm a fast walker. So, and everything is closer than that. Yeah, you get out, you get to leave your room. There are lots of places to go, but you don't have to walk too far. There is one big street that you have to cross all the time. It's called Route 2, and you do have to cross it to get from the main part of campus to Spring Street. They have lots and lots of crosswalks that have like lights or like a button you can push, and there's lights, and people tend to be very good at that stopping. So I've never really been worried about my safety there, but that is like noteworthy. The natural beauty, a huge part of the Williamstown experience. The mountains are a big part of the culture. They are mountains. I used to live in Colorado. These are mountains, but don't tell anyone I said that because they will destroy me. They're very central to our culture. It is just so beautiful here. No matter what season, you just walk around it in every direction. There's so much nature, mountains in every direction. We have a lot of blue skies, a lot of beautiful architecture. It's just a beautiful place, and it's hard to, for me anyway, it's hard to be in a bad mood for long if you're just walking around campus because it's just so beautiful. Some colleges certainly have fancier Gothic architecture, and that's gorgeous, but I've never seen a college with the combination of the natural beauty and the architecture that Williams has. I think it's really, really unparalleled, but I'm a little biased. I will say it is a outdoorsy culture. That's not to say that everyone is, and everyone is to a different extent for sure, but going on hikes are a big part of the Williams culture, and getting outdoors, whether that's skiing or canoeing or rock climbing or overnight backpacking trips or biking. It is a big part of the culture. However, if you're not athletic, you're not sporty, that's okay. There are definitely other people like you. In terms of seasons, especially if you're coming from a place with different seasons, we certainly have them. Obviously, coming from the Midwest, everything's definitely been milder here. So in terms of summer, it never gets that hot, to be honest. And then the fall is like very iconic because we have trees everywhere that just go absolutely ablaze, and it's gorgeous, and the mountains turn all these colors, and it's so beautiful. And this fall was actually really pleasant. Usually where I'm from, fall is like cold and it's not nice anymore, but here it was actually really, really nice. And then winter, this year we were gone for some of the winter, we were back home, but we certainly got quite a bit of snow, and it could be unpleasant, it could be gray, but it never got nearly as cold. Like, I never saw sub-zero temperatures, which to some, even just 0 degrees might sound really bad, but for me, it was fine. And we certainly had some days like in the 30s when it was like doable to be outside, especially during COVID when we can't really be with people indoors as much. I would say that Williams stands out a bit in terms of rural schools. Some of the rural schools I visited felt like there was barely any town, or they were very disjointed from the town, or it wasn't a very nice town. And that's not the case here at all. Like, I think it's much more accurate to classify Williams as a college in a small town than a rural college, because the town is part of the college. They're very well integrated. It's a lovely town. It's very much a part of the college experience, and it makes it a lot nicer because you can always get out a little bit and go into town and go to a restaurant, etc. Okay, so I mentioned Spring Street, but we can get into the town a little bit more. So Spring Street is the main street in town, and it is literally in the middle of campus. So there are restaurants, you can get coffee, ice cream, gift shops, bookstores, drugstore, all sorts of things. Something I was really worried about when committing here was getting basic necessities. I think I said in one of my earlier videos, like, what if I need a pair of socks? What am I gonna do if I need a pair of socks on last minute notice? So what I've learned is that there are very few things that you have no notice that you're going to need, and Amazon can get you just about anything very quickly. So other than that, Spring Street, the main street in town, certainly has some stuff. We have the new Williamstown Apothecary, which is a drugstore that has a lot of essentials. A lot of times you can just borrow something from a friend. Like if I wake up in the morning and I want to do laundry and I realize I'm out of Tide Pods, I text a group chat of the people on my floor, my entry, and somebody always has a Tide Pod. And the rest of the town outside of campus is also super pretty. Going for walks and stuff, there are like pretty old graveyards and parks, and it's just very nice, very safe and calm, very white, I will say. Again, New England, small town, it's wealthy and white for the most part. New England as a region tends to be very democratic or liberal, for what it's worth. However, sometimes you want to get away, I understand. So the study abroad programs here are great. So the sort of hallmark is WEPO, Williams Exeter Program Oxford, where you can spend your junior year at Oxford, like Oxford. There's also Williams Mystic, which goes to Mystic, Connecticut, which I guess is not study abroad, but it's study away. And that's where you can like do maritime studies, which is it's supposed to be super cool. There are lots more programs that Williams is like sort of affiliated with or can send you to. And then what's more interesting to me is that you can go away for a winter study, which is like the month of January, maybe plus winter break. You can go on a spring break trip, you can go on a summer trip that's affiliated with the college. So for me, like, especially since COVID sort of took away some of my college time, I don't want to give up a semester from Williams, but I do want to get away for a little bit, so I can do that over winter study or over a semester, or over a summer, so that's really appealing. So next, the general remoteness of Williamstown. We call this the purple bubble. And the purple bubble, it's a two-sided coin. So a lot of people like coming to Williams because it's a small town, because you get to sort of be in this bubble for 4 years and you get to enjoy the gorgeous beauty and be so engaged with the community, because people, you're forced to, and you just build this really, really strong community. Part of it is it's this very sheltered space where your whole life is Williams when you are at Williams, and for better or for worse, that's how it tends to be. You can be very insulated from, world events, and from COVID, which has been certainly a benefit these days. It's smaller than my high school, which was really weird to me, but it feels bigger for some reason. I guess part of it's because we're, spread out on this whole campus. But there is a bus, so it can take you, through Berkshire County, and students get on for free, at least for one of the lines, and so that will take you into North Adams. There is a Stop and Shop, which is like a regional supermarket chain, which is like a 5 to 10 minute bus ride, so you can get a lot of groceries you need for very cheap there. If you need to, you can take the bus even farther down and find a Walmart, and then it takes you into the town of North Adams, which has lots of things. So no like malls, but North Adams is like a cute town with like shopping, and there are grocery stores that you have access to. So the nearest airport to Williamstown, other than like a private airport that's a few miles away, is Albany. Albany's a good hour away on a very windy road, and Albany is not a major airport. So none of that is ideal for getting here. You can also fly into Boston Logan, or I think there's somewhere in New York you can get here from. And the way that works is that they offer, they call the Williams Motor Coach. And so around dates when students are moving on and off campus, they have buses that will take you to campus. So that works out well. But if you're in a place where, I always have to get connecting flights. And that is a pain. Not to mention everything else that is extra burdensome for international students. Whoops, I forgot to film an outro. Basically, Williams is remote. There's no way getting around that, but there are things to do. It really strengthens the community. And there's access to cities, and it's only 4 years, and a lot of people really love to be sort of surrounded by nature for those 4 years. But it isn't for everyone, and that's okay. And yeah, Williams is great. Congratulations to the class of 2025, recently admitted. Please feel free to drop your questions about this or other stuff, or suggestions for future videos. Right now the campus is closed, so you can't come visit, which sucks. I know, I've been through it too, and I'm sorry. But I assure you it is lovely. You have my word. And the admissions office has put together some amazing virtual tours. They won an award for best virtual tour on the East Coast, so definitely check all of that out. And I look forward to seeing some of you on campus soon. Bye.